Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of The Long Dark. We are still in the scavenging phase of this file, so we are heading back to town to grab some more supplies. Lost my train of thought. I apologize. I don't really have trains of thought or rails that they run on. I just kind of have a bunch of carrier pigeons that forget where they're supposed to be. At the most inconvenient times, of course. But anyway, y'all remember from last time we're still in Pleasant Valley. And we're playing on a passive mode. We're just kind of wandering around and, dare I say it, chilling in this weather. But yeah, we're gonna go back to town. We're gonna finish scavenging those houses. So a lot of y'all saw that drop in speed there. That's because I'm walking into the wind. What you want to do, if you want to maintain your speed, is walk in a diagonal to the wind. I'm still going the approximate correct direction, but I don't have to contend quite as much with wind. And you can just zigzag. That's technically a better way to do it anyway. It's less energy consuming. So, yeah. Those of you who are following this long play may kind of go, well, this is kind of boring. Yeah, the first part of the game is a lot of just wandering around and scavenging. But I assure you it does get more exciting, and I'm not going to make y'all wait forever. I'm going to start hunting as soon as I'm able. Y'all may remember last time we actually found a hunting rifle. So, the only reason I'm not using it just yet is because I want to conserve the ammunition. We'll pick up some more ammunition as we go. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to set up a base in each location, in each region, excuse me, and then do some wandering. That's not how I normally play, but I figured that might be a little more enjoyable to watch. Man, it is a windy boy today. Whoosh. Okay. That's pretty standard for Pleasant Valley, actually. It is known to be windy, with unpredictable weather, and of course lots of predators. Some of y'all remember there's wolves up in town, there's wolves and bears down by the farmstead. Over in the Birchwoods where we started, right across that direction, we got bear and moose spawns. There's another bear spawn off that direction someplace, if I remember correctly. I mean, it's not a... This is not a place that you want to just, you know, wander around lightly. Especially if you don't have passive wildlife turned on. We've got passive wildlife, so I'm not quite as worried about it, but it's definitely still something you gotta take into consideration. Oh hell, did I get my pry bar? I hope I got my pry bar. I do, okay, cool. We're still carrying quite a bit, but you can only lighten the load by so much. Only so much you can do. I know when we first started out, y'all probably noticed that we had 66 pounds of carry weight. You can actually increase that by about 50% in total over the course of the game. We've actually gotten the first buff already. You can probably see down in the bottom left corner there that my little condition meter has some extra blue on the end, and it's got a little blue plus next to it. That is because I have a buff, and that buff in particular is called Well Fed. You get that when you keep your calorie store above 0 for 3 consecutive days, and you will maintain that buff as long as you keep your calorie store above 0. So theoretically, on these easier modes, you could get well fed 3 days in and never drop it, because there's plenty of food to go around. There's also 2 items you can find that you can use to increase your carry weight. One is the moose hide satchel. You can actually create that, but it requires a moose hide. And moose are very difficult to kill. They're also very difficult to find. Moose are the rarest animal in the game. There's a few spawn points where they kind of show up, but they don't stay forever. And they don't stay very long. They don't pop up very often. So when you do see one, if you've got the ability to take one out, I almost want to say go for it. Because you never know when you're going to find another moose. But at the same time, if you do take out that moose, you all of a sudden have, you know, 60 or 80 pounds of meat, plus a big heavy hide, and I think it's I think it's 12 units of gut to deal with, so there's a lot of stuff to carry back. So, moose hunting is, a little tricky. And I believe that is the dead deer that that wolf took out on the way down here. He's probably done eating it up, but we'll have a look at it. Anytime you find a deer that's already downed in the wild, you can sometimes harvest it. Now, if it's something that a wolf has killed and eaten, there may not be anything left to harvest. He may have torn everything up. But if you find those carcasses that already look like they're ravaged, you can still harvest a little bit of meat and the hide and the gut. So we'll have a look at him, see what we can find. He might have something to offer, who knows. And of course, these feathers, also very useful. Maybe not right this second, but oh, look at that. I think we actually scared him off from this last time. So, what I'm gonna do is I am going to quarter this deer. Oh, no, I'm not, because it's more than 50% frozen. Okay, cool. Well, in that case, it'll only take an hour to do this, so I just have to watch my temperature there. So there's that. There's still some meat on him, you're right. But, in the interest of keeping moving, I'll probably just grab it on the way back. The hide and gut is relatively light. It's only about, I think the hide is 2.2 pounds, and the gut is 0.22 a piece times 2, so 0.44. So you're looking at, if I'm doing my math correctly, which I probably am not, 2.64 pounds of stuff. It's something. It's not, you know, it's not nothing, but it's not very much, and it's well worth carrying it with you because you can craft stuff out of it. So no, I know there's people who are asking, well, what if you can't find anything to salvage, and you don't have any weapons to hunt? Well, the only ways that you can hunt without firearms or a bow and arrow, you can go fishing. There is one fishing hole in Pleasant Valley off that way. I'll show it to y'all at some point. There are also fishing holes in Mystery Lake and in the Coastal Highway. I feel like there's another one that I'm forgetting. Timberwolf Mountain has a fishing point as well. But, oh right, we gotta go back over here. There was a locker that we can open over here. So you can go fishing. What you need for that is you need a line and you need a hook. If you can't find them, you can make a line out of gut, which you can get from these salvaged deer carcasses. You can also get a hook from scrap metal. I think you just need a workbench. You can also set up snares. You just need some reclaimed wood and some gut to set up a snare. And then you can also, the most low-tech way to hunt, honestly, wow, that was not worth the trip, but okay. The most low-tech way to hunt is you can get some rocks, and you can throw it at a rabbit, hit it in the head and stun it, and then you run up to the rabbit, and you grab it, and you snap its neck. That is the most low-tech way to hunt. It's also one of the least efficient, especially if you're shitty at throwing rocks like I am. So, but it can be done. You can hunt things without a gun or bow and arrow, but it's a pain in the ass. Snares you can set out and leave, so you don't have to worry as much about freezing while you're out there. But fishing, you have to stay out there with it, so you can get too cold. Ash Canyon. Ash Canyon has a fishing hole. I had to think about it. It does have a fishing hole. I am pretty sure I've been inside this house, but I will double check. But, the fishing huts do have, yeah, I've been in here. It would say new location discovered if I hadn't. The fishing huts do have potbelly stoves in them that you can burn wood in for warmth. But you have to have firewood with you. You have to be able to start a fire. You have to keep an eye on it. So there's definitely a downside to it. Circling crows, usually. So we're gonna pick up these feathers and search this dude, see what we got going on here. Absolutely nothing. Amazing. Oh, what? Oh, that's part of the fence. I thought it was something else. I was like, what is that? I do think it's neat how you can actually go up and read these. He should have listened! Nice! Oh my god, I'm dead. That's pretty funny. Oh my god. I'm gonna go to hell for laughing at that message, but oh my god, that's so funny. Anything else funny? What does that say? Always and forever. Okay. I was like, what? He should have listened. That's fucking funny. I love people who have a sense of humor when it comes to leaving messages on their gravestones. Okay, let's see here. There's not usually much to be found in these churches. But occasionally you can find a hunting knife. Occasionally you can find lots of books. Sometimes you'll find like a scarf or a soda. Oh man. You really ain't finding shit here. Alright. Let's see what else we got here. There's a fire barrel. Or I suppose it's actually more of a fire pit at this point. But you can get some charcoal here. Like I said last time, I'm not really going to jack with mapping. But you can use charcoal for other things. So I'll go ahead and pick it up. Firewood, heck yeah. We'll head down here. Now there's other houses across the river here. Most of the time they are boarded up and not accessible. But sometimes you can get into them. Nothing here. Amazingly. Alright, cool. It is also very chilly in my house, so I'm just kind of internally cringing at all the frozenness. So this one actually looks like it's one of those houses that was in construction. So there are houses that you'll go into, and it's not complete. So like, yeah, here we go. This house is not complete, but you can still find stuff here. So like, you may find more industrial items like this. Sometimes you'll find scrap metal and cloth laying around. You can break down that crate. You can actually break down a crate with your bare hands, but it does take like twice as long. So keep that in mind. If you don't have a hatchet, you can break crates down barehanded. Here's a hook. They're kind of difficult to see in the environment. Not impossible, but tricky. A wool toque. Lots of reclaimed wood that we could use. I think that's basically it. It does have another exit, I know, but if I go out the same way I came in, I'm more likely to figure out and remember where I'm supposed to be going. I know how my brain works, or more accurately, how it does not. Okay. Anything in this wheelbarrow? Nope. Sometimes you can find some stuff over here in the stalls. Not always, but sometimes. Let's see here. So, there's a book, but it's the firewood type. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Still in good shape, too. Very nice. Okay, so that's done. Alright, we are basically done on this side. I'm not even gonna jack with the houses. I've changed the way I've decided to play, so we're not gonna jack with it. Let's see, how much am I carrying? Oh yeah, okay. Let's go harvest the rest of that deer carcass, and then we will take it back home. And then there are 2 other big spots. Well, actually there's 3, but one of them... Well, let me finish my sentence first. There's a couple other places I want to take y'all, just to show you kind of where stuff is. One of those places is the Signal Hill. You can actually see it from the farmstead. It is a radio tower. Where did that deer go? It was back this way, wasn't it? It's a radio tower. And you can actually see it from most anywhere in the region. Is that? Oh, I'm dumb. There's crows right there marking my carcass location. Thank you for that. And sometimes you can even follow your footprints back to it, but don't bank on that. Signal Hill is this general direction. I think the trees may be in the way of me actually being able to see it. But basically, if you follow the road, you'll find it. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the rest of this deer carcass. It is still cold. I am still losing temperature here. But I am not just absolutely, abjectly freezing right now. Now, since this carcass is frozen, you don't want to use the knife on the meat. You can use it on the hide and gut, it's faster to use that. But look, the knife takes 3 hours, the hatchet only takes an hour and a half. If it is not frozen, the knife is the better option. But if it is frozen, you'll want to use a hatchet on the meat. You can still use the knife on the hide and the gut, that's fine. It's better that way. But frozen meat should be harvested with a hatchet. You can also do something called quartering. That's something I'll show you later on, if we ever get to it. But what you do is you can only do it with certain types of carcasses. So you saw earlier I tried to quarter it, and it told me you can't do that because it's more than 50% frozen. But quartering it basically divides the meat into quarters, which, despite the name, may or may not be like an actual 25% of the meat. It just divides it into bags that each contain a certain amount of meat. And is that Signal Hill? Am I tripping? That might be. That might be Signal Hill. It looks like it could be. Anyway. But it'll have the bags of meat, and then it'll have the hide and the gut laid out underneath it. So if you're in a hurry and you don't have time to harvest everything, you can actually quarter it, and that'll make it easier to transport it. Quartering does attract predators by its scent, so just keep that in mind if you don't have passive wildlife turned on. Oof. And this cold weather's making my joints pop. It's cold, like, in real life where I am right now, so that's... I'm not getting vicariously cold from the game. Ooh, I don't like the look of that wind. I really don't like the wind there. I think the last time y'all were watching this with me, y'all were joining me on this journey, y'all saw how quickly a blizzard can develop. I mean, it pops up very quickly. You'll usually get some warning signs, but not always. Hey, I'm passing the car, I may as well check it and see if there's anything in it. You should always get into the front seat, because you can't check the glove box from outside. But the rear seat, you can look through the window and see if there's anything in there worth grabbing. You may have also noticed that my temperature was going up inside the car, so cars can be useful for getting away from wolves or predators. They can be useful for escaping the elements sometimes. They are not as well protected as an actual interior, but they can help. They're a windbreak effectively as well. Alright, so here we go. This right here would be a really good place to set up some snares. Obviously in real life you would want to hide them in normal tracks that rabbits follow, but here you can just set them out wherever you see rabbits, go away for a day or two, come back. I would check on it daily, just because occasionally you'll have something that gets into the snare and destroys it. And sometimes you'll go out there and your snare hasn't caught anything, and that's okay too. But at least this way you're checking on it. So let's see, there is actually a bed in here, amazingly. So if you ever get trapped out in the weather, you can actually just, where is it? There you go, you can just lay down and take a nap in the hay. Literally hitting the hay. Although I will say, hitting the hay is not fun or comfy. It is scratchy, and honestly, it'll feel like you've been skinned alive. It's not pleasant. I worked on a farm when I was younger. The hay is the big scratchy. Good eating for the ponies, but not fun to lay on. Not for humans with our little soft skin. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the plan right now is to drop all this stuff at the house, and then take you guys to Signal Hill, and probably also the fishing hole. And then after that, the plane crash is the other location we want to go to. I may do the plane crash first, actually, because there's a lot of clothing there, which means there's a lot of stuff that we can take apart. There's food as well, because that's one of those, they have a lot of, like, airplane meals on it. So, there's actually, like, frozen chicken and vegetable trays you can pick up. I may as well loot that car. I'm out here, aren't I? Okay. I don't see any wolves or bears out here right now. So that's kind of good. Nothing in the back seat. There we go. Well, at least it's been searched. Normally I like to go and search every little place, but like I said, I'm going to try to live a little bit more nomadic while I'm doing this playthrough, just because I want to show you guys all the stuff you can do. Alright, let's drop all this stuff off. There we go. Okay, so already we have a problem, and that is that we are running out of space. So, I like to organize stuff. Let's drop my firewood over here. Then I'll put my fire starting stuff here. Except for the things that I keep on hand, of course. Medicine I'll put over here as well. I like to be organized because at least then I know where to find everything. Yeah, we'll put that away. Takes a little bit of work to do it, but real quick before I lose track. In order to use hides and guts, you have to cure them, which means you have to drop them someplace inside. And that way... here, move alt inventory. I forgot that button existed. It's a new button, so every once in a while I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot I can do that. So, put the rest of this up. Maybe easier to do this, and then go back and... There we go. I do want to keep something on hand, just so I have it. Then I do want some bandages, just in case. What else do we have? We have some foodstuffs in here that we need to put away. Okay. So let me put away all the stuff that's in decent condition. That's not canned. I've got enough space for it, it's fine. Okay. And then all the drink items. Put this stuff in here too. I don't think I have any herbal tea mix. Okay. Okay, so that's good. Oh. Let's also put away all the stuff that is gonna go bad pretty soon. Okay. What else? Next thing we'll need space for is like our clothing, but I'll probably put the clothes in here since I will be working on... What, am I not wearing a pea coat? Is that... How did I manage that? That's probably why I was freezing, dang. Okay. Put away all my clothing items, because I'll eventually end up harvesting them. And then I need spaces for tools as well. And then for, like this sort of thing. And those I'll usually stick upstairs. But, you can stick them wherever. I just like to be organized, that's all. Let's see what we got here. That actually probably had to go back downstairs, to be honest. And I usually just put everything in this cabinet because I don't usually have just a ridiculous amount. And I actually probably ought to prioritize what comes with me and what doesn't. So, well, we'll do that later. For right now, let's just put stuff away. That can stay up here. I don't need to carry a hacksaw. I can just carry one hatchet. This I'm actually going to make into a hook and line real quick. So, what you do is you pull up your menu, you go to crafting, you can scroll until you find it, click on it, hit begin crafting. I can make a fishing line anywhere as long as I have the materials for it. Now, if you need a hook, you need a workbench. And if you need a line, you need a workbench. But if you've already got the hook and line, it's easy. So there's that. I've got one knife. I've got the rifle there. I'm going to hang on to that for just a moment. I'm going to keep the pry bar. The tools can go away. I'm not going to carry any guns, so I'm not going to carry any bullets. Those can go away, and that can go away. And then this stuff, I'll get put in here. So, the only other thing I really want to do is to go here. Okay, so I've got some. And I do this because I want to use up these containers so they don't take up so much dadgum space in my inventory. That's not what I wanted to do. I want to refuel you. There is a little bit in there, but not much. And then I just come down here and I find the one that has the .01. I just like to get rid of these items as soon as I can. So that's why I do like that. It's a little bit weird, but, you know, it's whatever. Okay, so that thing is full now. So we can put these items in there too. I'm gonna keep... Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I need to move around here. There's just one more thing I need to change. Oh, wait. I lied. One more thing. This. I do not need but one can opener. The other can opener... I probably won't even take that with me, honestly. I'll probably just harvest it for the scrap metal. There's no sense in that. So that's doing its thing. Stick the can opener down here. Oh, balls. I do be forgetting in here. Yeah, it'll be fine. So this is the only other place we need to look in, and that is the basement of this house. And I have the lantern with me because I am... Are you kidding me? There was a pry bar here. Wow. let's see here. Go ahead and light this up. That way I can see what I'm doing here. Make sure I don't miss anything that I might be able to use. Okay, piece of cloth. Heck yeah. Oh, and that staircase right there leads outside. There's an external entrance here as well, so that's pretty nice. Spray paint, accelerant, cloth, metal container. There's some matches back here, yeah. Scrap metal, whetstone. Sometimes casting light in different directions can cast shadows, so it's always beneficial to kind of move around a little bit and see if you can find some stuff. Okay. Very nice. Alright. Alright. Those are nice. Okay. And see, here it is, the workbench that I was telling you about. This is why I like to stay in the farmhouse instead of in the community center. Because all I gotta do is go downstairs. It's nice and warm. Well, it's warm enough to live in, at least. It may not be, like, toasty warm, but it's warm enough to survive in. Let me pick up the scrap metal. Thank you. Fun fact, you can find clothes in here. And I don't think they're wet. I don't think they are. Oh, well, that's the dryer. Wool log johns, heck yeah. And a skill book, yes. Alright, looks like that's all we got down here, but hey, that's still some good stuff. Oh, Lozzie looky. Fun fact, I am 5 feet tall, and I very rarely ever look up, which is kind of ironic, but that's, you know. I forget that there are places above my eye level. So... yeah, I do that a lot. Okay. So now, because I'm kind of forgetful, let's double check, make sure we've got everything deposited in the appropriate spaces. Organization is your friend in these survival situations. As long as you can stay organized and you know where everything is, it's very, very good. This thing is kind of useful if you get stranded and you need to do some rope climbing, but I don't plan on that being an issue, so I'm not going to jack with it. Go ahead and put these antibiotics away too. I don't need those right now. They're good to keep on hand if you're going to be eating some crappy quality food, but otherwise, I'm not really worried about it. There's that. Okay. And we've got some more clothes to stick in here that we can work with later. Oh, right. I should probably... They're worn, yes, but they are still better quality, and I know they'll be warmer in the long run. I believe the work boots are better than those. The ski gloves are probably warmer, but they're also a little bit heavier, so I'm not going to jack with that right now. I think the old-fashioned parka's warmer when it's fully repaired. So there's all that. Should put away all this other stuff. Okay. So there's one other thing I want to do before we take a rest for the night. If you have a lot of raw meat and you want to keep it good, honestly, drop it in the snow. You think I'm joking, I assure you I am not. It will keep a lot better. So currently it's considered moldy, it's at 58%. And it'll mold a lot faster if I keep it on my person where it's, you know, warm and... I don't want to say warm and toasty, but you know, it's warmer. Is this? Okay. A little bit tricky to see in the dark. I also there's no sense lighting up that lantern just to go upstairs. So, let's double check that I have everything taken care of. That goes away. I forgot to put that up in the first place. That goes away, that goes away. Do I need that still? No, not where I'm going. No. And now look at that. All I gotta do is eat myself some food, drink some water, throw myself in the bed, and take me a dadgum nap. Nappy nap time, boys. Oh, that sounds like an aurora. Alright. So, drink some more of this. I would say that I am ready to go. Alright, cool. The benefit to having myself geared up ahead of time means that I can just walk out the door. Okay, bear with me here. It is dark for me as well. There we go. Okay, it is a chilly boy today. I think we're going to use this time to make the trip to Signal Hill. It's very cold, and I don't want to make the very long trek to the plane crash on a day like today. Climbing the ropes to get to Signal Hill will use up more of my energy than walking the long way, but it'll also get me inside faster, so... If you look right up there, you see that tower up there. That's a radio tower. That's Signal Hill. There's actually a little hut up there that's got some stuff in it occasionally. I say occasionally, it's usually got stuff in it. I wouldn't be making the trip if I didn't think it was worth it. So, that is where we are going to go today. But, remember that bear I told you that kind of comes out here occasionally? We're going to have to pass his den on the way there. Not going to matter on passive mode, but keep that in mind if you ever decide to play not passive. It's the whole reason I point out stuff like that. It's so that if you're ever playing and you're not doing passive, you can be like, oh, there's usually bears here. So aside from Signal Hill, the fishing hole, and the plane crash, there is one other spot that I want to show you guys, and that is the Prepper Cache. There is that's not to be confused with the Abandoned Cache. The Abandoned Cache is a set location in Pleasant Valley. It always appears in the same spot, and there's usually not just a whole bunch in it. But Pleasant Valley and Mystery Lake actually have Prepper Caches that are fully stocked. There are several places on the map where they can appear, but each game file, you will only see one in each of those two regions. So you'll see one in Pleasant Valley and one in Mystery Lake, and if you play a different file, you'll see a different one, perhaps, in Pleasant Valley and a different one in Mystery Lake. So you can kind of see it there. Straight ahead of us is that rope. Look right next to the tree, you can see it. The bear den is right here. That cave there. He's either already out and about or he's still inside. Either way, we're not going to bother him. Like I said, passive. Passive wildlife. We don't care. Now you can go up that hill and risk spraining something and then trek up that way. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go straight up. This is also a good opportunity to show you how rope climbing works. So there's a sprint mechanic here. There's also a sort of sprint mechanic here. They're the same bar as far as the game's concerned, so you just click it and start climbing. Now, that hand icon in the bottom right is your stamina meter, basically. If it runs out, you can still climb, but you run the risk of falling every time as long as you're on the rope with that thing empty. You'll also notice that this uses a lot of energy. I was able to do it quickly because I'm fairly well rested. But if you're tired, you're going to go a lot slower. And if your exhaustion meter on the bottom left runs out, so will your stamina meter on the bottom right. So you have to be very, very careful when you're going to do rope climbing. Got to be extremely careful about it. Okay. Admittedly, it can be difficult to see Signal Hill itself up here because of all these trees. So let's see what we can find here. There it is. You can see it right through there. If you can find the tower, you can find the shed. I'm not worried about those wolves. Now this up here, I haven't been pointing these out, but I really need to be. This is Old Man's Beard Lichen, right here. And you can actually use this to create bandages in the event that you can't find any, don't have any, etc. You would need 3 of these to make bandage. There's also Rosehips and Rishi Mushrooms that you can run into. And oh, what is this? Hello, beautiful. Which one are you? Looks like a birch, but we will see. Let me see here. You are... well, maybe it's a maple. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, yep, it's a maple. Sweet. So how do you make a bow and arrow, you ask? Well, your bow starts with a maple sapling and some gut. Your arrows start with birch saplings and arrowheads and feathers. Arrowheads are kind of a task to create, but I'll show you all how to do that in a later episode. There's no way to craft them in this region. You would have to go to Forlorn Muskeg or Desolation Point to make them. So here we go. Here's Signal Hill. Now if you look past fencing, you can actually see another rock that you could attach a rope to. So I could have taken that rope with me and attached it here. I'm not going to, but I could have. Here's Rosehips. You need 24 of these. You get 8 per plant, so basically 3 plants worth to make rosehip, prepared rosehips, and then you can take that and make tea, and it's used as painkillers. Alright, let's see what I got going on here. I forget which way everything is. Here we go. Just for the sake of showing y'all where this is in relation to everything else, let's go have a look. And there is our lovely little farmstead. Man, look at those neat little rows of trees. That's so nice. There it is. Perfect. Alright. Firewood. Yep, I'll take it. And let's go inside. Okay, what do we got going on in here? Sometimes there's stuff underneath, not usually, but... Can you... There we go. Some more Long Johns? Heck yeah. Nice. Ooh, a flashlight. Y'all saw the flashlight. You're probably going, that's not really useful since there's no power, right? Well, it's useful if there's an aurora. Because the battery will last as long as the aurora does, basically. So, what else we got here? Candy bar, hell yeah. Oh! Hello, beautiful! Hello, gorgeous. Oh, I had to make the reference. It's not really a reference, it's, whatever. If you know, you know. Alright, let's see here. Since I don't plan on coming back here, I'm gonna search absolutely everything. I'm here, I may as well. Every once in a while you can find bullets in these cabinets, so it doesn't hurt to look. And most of the time you end up finding nothing. That's also something that... Oh, yes! Hello! Okay, let's see here. Nothing in there. Oh, yes. Give me that. Okay. Big moose kicks. Coffee. Tomato soup. No, thank you. Peanut butter. How does peanut butter go stale? It doesn't really go stale, it just kind of goes moldy, to be honest. Tin of sardines. Oh, expedition parka, yes! This is one of the best items that you can get that is not craftable. Oh, hell yeah. Fire striker, and it's in really good shape. It is a whole lot easier to start a fire with a fire striker than with a match or a magnifying glass. So, yes. I have very, very rarely regretted a trip up here. Sometimes you can find a rifle up here or below, so make sure you check that. Hell yes. What is that? Oh, that's just the shelf itself. Okay. Let's see. Full socks. Nothing underneath. Oh, there we go. I'm looking for stuff underneath the lockers. The lockers do not sit right on the floor. They actually sit on some legs. Oh, yes! Climbing socks. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. So, this thing is only at 74% condition. And it still has the same amount of warmth, plus it's got extra windproof and extra waterproof. That thing is amazing. Let's see here. Trying to think, the way about the same. I'll probably keep this one just because it's got the extra windproof and waterproof, even if it's not quite as warm. So that's a choice that I will make. This one, better. It's not the absolute best thing out there, but it's pretty close. There's another one. Awesome. Let's see here. These are good. Snow pants. Those are okay, yeah. This is a better version. Maybe put the older one there. Climbing socks. Yas. Hell yeah. So now we are a lot warmer. This is super good. Got 2 skill books. And I'm actually still under my carry weight, which is amazing. That's definitely a good thing. Oh, there's also another lantern here. More ammo! More ammo! Yes! I will take it. Ah! I am being attacked by a cat, excuse me. Yes, I see you. Please do not. Alright. I think that's everything. Let's head on over to the water hole. So from here, admittedly, it's very easy to get lost out here. Where the— oh yeah, right. So from Signal Hill, there is actually a path that you can follow, and once you cross the bridge, the watering hole should be, or the fishing hole should be on your left. It can be a little bit tricky to follow the path, especially since there is a footpath that branches off of it, but that is the simplest way to get there if you can find the path. You want to look for the, it looks like kind of like a rut in the snow, like where vehicles might drive through. I believe this is it here. But you'll see like the raised banks like you'd see in a ditch. Except it's a road. I don't know how people actually drive on this, but, you know, it's Canada. Who knows? I don't know how stuff works in the snow. I come from a southern state. I don't know anything about snow. Yeah, here we go. You see how it kind of looks like a road? It is a road. So, we want to follow that. We will eventually hit a bridge. And from that bridge, we will be able to find the fishing hole. Now, the fishing hole is also a potential moose spawn, if I remember correctly. So make sure you're cautious when you go there. I'm actually... no, I don't think I'll sprint. I was going to sprint a little bit just to save some time, but I don't think I will. So we'll just keep going down this road. this might be it right here. Yeah, here we go. Behold, the one and only fishing hole in all of Pleasant Valley. Let's see if there's anything worth grabbing over here. Probably not. What's this? Oh, that's just part of the boat. Okay. Let's see, just getting into one of these fishing huts. Just getting into one with a closed door can help warm me up a little bit. Ooh, yes! Okay, now I'm carrying too much to be able to climb the rope back down, but that's okay. The way we're going, we won't encounter it again. It's no big deal. Charcoal, okay. Scrap metal and cloth, a hook. Ooh, a kniff. Yes, please. Well, that too, but I was looking at the kniff. There we go. Alright. So, to fish, you actually would need something to break the ice. I prefer to use a pry bar, because eventually you will not need the pry bars anymore. You will have opened everything that needs to be forced open, and they will effectively be useless for anything except this. They also can't be repaired. Versus your hatchet and your knife, you can use them, but you'll have to repair them eventually. And eventually you're gonna run out of whetstones. Okay, so here is the last of the plant. No, not the last, excuse me. The second to last plant I want to show y'all. That's the Rishi Mushroom. You need 2 of them, but you can prepare the 2 and you can actually make a tea out of them that has antibiotic properties. Okay, and also, it is time. We now have a weapon. We have 2 weapons and some ammo. And we're gonna need this. So, there we go. Good thing about rabbits, you can just pick up the whole thing and take it with you. Now let me remember, we're gonna make something with this rabbit. I need a grand total of 7 rabbits. So, it's very simple. I see a rabbit, I go for it. Now, if you have your revolver out and you hit the reload button, you will drop your spent shell casings, so be very careful when you do that. Versus if you go into the menu and you click the unload button from here, the spent shell casing will make its way into your inventory automatically. So make sure you're cautious of that. The spent shell casings are not useless. You can actually use them to make more bullets. They are reusable. You know, there are only 2 places to make more bullets, though. Originally there was 1, and it was in Bleak Inlet. They've added another one in Blackrock. But there's not very many, so you just kind of have to hoard them until it's that time to make them. But the fact that we have a revolver now means I can go shoot a rabbit, I can take it with me, and I can harvest it later. If you look over there through the trees, you'll see the bridge. This is the way we want to go. You have to be very careful because the river actually runs from that way, down that way under the bridge, but it forks right here. So following the river is not necessarily a surefire way to avoid getting lost. You have to be cautious. Situational awareness is the #1 skill in survival situations. I see more rabbits over there. That's good. Let's go ahead and reload this thing. For those of you wondering, the revolver holds 6 bullets, the rifle holds 10. Okay. Patience is a virtue here, especially since as soon as I shoot, they're all gonna go running. So, gotta be very cautious here. And at the very beginning, I'm not very good at this, so it's not gonna help me very much. So I have to make sure that I am ready to fire when I do fire. And I put it away to avoid accidentally firing it by missing the rabbit itself. If I click and then I miss the rabbit, I may accidentally discharge another round and waste some ammo, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I put it away between shots. And I'm still crouching, because that will help keep them from seeing me. I see the one up there, but this is the one I'm going for. So I have 2 rabbits now. Alright, now I have 3. And before you ask, no, they will not go to waste. They absolutely will not go to waste. Oh, there's one. Ah, fuck. Now, let's be cautious. We got plenty of daylight, that's good. Have to be careful with my temperature. There we go. Now I'm carrying a lot. I think that's plenty for now. There's some deer here too, that's nice. Oof. Got a little twinge in my side there, ouch. Now rabbits themselves do not have a lot of meat on them, so once I harvest it, there won't be much to store. And they'll store okay outside for a while anyway. Okay, what else we got here? Okay. Excuse me. So I got in here. Anything? Nope. Okay. A little disheartening, but that's alright. Let's look for the bridge. There it is. Alright. And if you can find the road, you can find your way home. So that's kind of the nice thing about Pleasant Valley. There's some good landmarks, which you can figure out where you're at and where you're going. It'll take us a little longer than expected to get home because we're carrying so much, but that's okay. We'll just waddle along and get there when we get there. Oop, there we go. Get around that tree. Okay, so we have arrived back. I do need to harvest these rabbits. It should be warm enough to do it right here. It's still gonna look bad, but that's okay. I'm just keeping an eye on my temperature while I work. Ooh, we have progressed to blizzard conditions. Got to be extremely careful now. I'm watching my temperature. Okay. Yep, I'm watching it. I'm watching it. Ooh, that cold will kill you. Look at that mess. Go ahead and drop this excess here. And let's get on inside. We will go ahead and harvest this guy here. Okay. We've healed from the hypothermia risk enough to drop outside and stick it in the snow. And we're doing that because it'll hold its condition better in the snow. There we go. We got it. That's good. Perfect. And now, the things we should drop to cure are these guts, these hides, and also this sapling. We can't use it until it dries out a bit. Still a little over encumbered, and that's okay. We're just gonna drop all our stuff and call it good. Can eat that. And we can drink this. Drop all this firewood. And yeah, blizzards are loud. Even if you're inside, they're loud. So, I'm gonna work on these matches first, but I will pick up the fire striker afterwards. I'm one of those people, I've got an open container, why am I gonna open another thing? It's a windy boy out there. Okay. Been another episode of The Long Dark. Let's might have just enough energy to do enough reading. I'm not gonna be able to read for 5 hours, but I got 1 hour, and that's good. It's something. Alright. Let's have ourselves a good sleep. Ooh, blizzard died down, that's nice. Oh, it's back. Well, you know, actually, instead of ending the episode here, why don't I just push through some of this stuff here. And I'm watching my calorie store. I see it. Alright, so that book is now firewood. Hey, look at that. Very nice. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and cook up all this stuff. A lot of this is general maintenance that I have to do to kind of I may as well just clear it out this way. Let's see here. What do I got? Right, so this one's actually a little bit less than the others, but not enough to make it worth the worry. So let's go on in. We'll cook this up. Might do a day or two of general maintenance before I cut the episode. I changed my mind here. Alright. Give me the thing. Thank you. What are you doing? That, give me that, give me that. Okay. And I set that aside to use as crafting material, so I'll have to move it somewhere else. Okay, that one I've already read, so it's okay to use. Whoop, we want to use the actual tinder plug here. Let's see how this goes. Didn't work, alright, that's fine. Make a tinder plug here. I'm watching my calorie intake here because I don't want to lose my well-fed bonus. So I'm trying to stop that. I'm trying to get this done without losing that. The sooner I get food on the stove here, the sooner I can eat. And yes, I know I have junk food, but I'm trying to use up that meat because it'll actually go bad faster. The junk food will hold its condition for quite a while. The meat will not. So, alright. Put that there. Now notice that this one just takes longer to cook than the other ones do, and that's okay. I also need to put some more fuel in here. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire! Go ahead and eat that one. Just pull it straight off the stove and eat it. Reclaimed wood does not last as long in the oven. There we go, that ought to do it. Perfect. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if I can get water that'll cook in like, that'll work. Perfect. Remember that if I've got 50 minutes of fire, I need 25 minutes worth of snow. Because it'll have to take 25 minutes to melt and another 25 to boil. So make sure you keep that in mind when you're cooking this stuff. That's good. Perfect. I like to make as much, as efficient use of that stove as I can, and by ensuring that all slots are used to the best of my ability, we're making it happen. Alright, so let's drop this stuff. Let's go ahead and take the time to make some tinder plugs out of this. It'll take a little time, but that's okay. Yeah, see, that'll take almost an hour to do. So just make sure you're mindful of that. Okay. This will also take... Okay, almost like an hour and a half plus. Alright, cool. There's that. We can stick those up in here. I'll probably pull about 5 of them out to keep on my person. There we go. This is good. These are curing up nicely. And I'm gonna go on upstairs because I'm gonna read until dark. And we'll go from there. A lot of this stuff is just basic maintenance. And you'll have to be careful because sometimes you'll run into something called cabin fever. That's turned off in this file, but if you stay inside for too long, you can get cabin fever. Okay, and it is too dark to read. That is fine. We are gonna have ourselves another sleep here. There we go. It's probably light enough to read. A lot of you may be asking, well, if you leave meat on the porch, is that going to attract wolves? Oddly enough, no. I don't know why. It just does. It's just how the game works, I guess. So we can read that. And there we go. Perfect. We haven't even touched the ice. And we've already got a level 2 skill. Perfect. Skill books are your friend. Next thing I want is these 3 items. And this. Because the next thing on my list is clothing repair. So let's start by collecting these curtains. They don't take very long to break down individually, but of course, breaking down a bunch of them all in a row can take a little while. Let's just start with these and go from here. Okay, that should be okay for right now. We've got more that we can break down for later, but that's a start. It's coming along nicely. I am actually going to take this skill book. It's now firewood, I've read it. So we're actually going to set it up here so that I remember to use it. It snaps to the burner. I'm weak. Oh my god, that's great. Anyway, yeah, we'll set that there so remember to use it. That's funny. I've never actually seen that before. Alright, go ahead and give me all this. It's gonna over-encumber me, but that's okay. And we're gonna go on upstairs because I can keep going until it gets a little bit dark. But by that time, it won't be light enough for me to see by it, to actually navigate, so doing it up here means I don't have to worry about it quite so much. Alright. Let's start with the items that really only take like 1 piece of cloth to repair. The little ones. So that'd be like hats, scarves, socks, mittens. And I'm not very good at it, so it's still going to yell at me occasionally and say, hey, you failed to repair. And I'm going to be like, okay. Whatever you say, kiddo. Okay. What else do we have that can be repaired? I think this can. And of course, it's going to yell at me. Go figure. Now, when you fail a repair attempt, it does still waste your sewing kit condition, and it does still waste... That actually takes more than I thought. And it does still waste your cloth. So, that's the other reason to start with the smaller ones. There's those. And y'all remember, I repair stuff I'm not going to use because I can then harvest it, and I still have the skill gains for it, so that's super good. Man, this scarf just really hates me. Take that. Jeez. I have a lot of socks, dang. And I'm going to try to repair for as long as I've got daylight. And as long as I've got the materials. And then when night falls, we can harvest. Because you can harvest at night. You just can't repair at night. So, that's just something to keep in mind. For the purpose of efficiency. so I'm out of cloth. That's fine. And look at that, we're leveling. We're getting there. Let me go grab some more cloth real quick. It can take a little bit to break stuff down, so I don't want to waste just terribly much time breaking stuff down. So now I have, what, 6 pieces of cloth? Yeah. That'll at least get me to nightfall. And if not, I've got a little bit more I can harvest. There we go. I've still got 2 other sewing kits, I believe, so that's nice. I'm gonna keep going until it tells me it's too dark to repair stuff. I say that. This seems like a decent place to stop. Okay. So now, if it's at 90% plus, and I'm not gonna use it, I'll probably go through and double check. I think I've pretty much already got everything in the max. Yeah, those are good. These are good, these are good. Those are indeed better. By quite a bit, actually. Yeah, alright. I'm comfortable switching then. Got these 2. Those are the best I can get. These... I'm not 100% sure about the shoes, honestly. So anything else that's of 90% plus, I'm gonna go ahead and harvest it. And you don't need daylight to harvest it. You can harvest it at night. And that way I have clothes that I can still reuse. And then in the morning, I can go through and I can do some more repairs. This one needs 1 to repair, but it yields 2 when you harvest it, so those things are super nice. Gonna use that. I definitely don't want to harvest these. I like these. These are good to have as backups in case something happens to your originals. So there are some items that I never harvest, that I hang on to. Because if I need a quick fix, maybe my deerskin coat gets, or my deerskin pants get ruined, maybe I have another pair of snow pants somewhere. So there are some items that I never, ever, ever, ever harvest. You know, I would say it's a good thing we decided to repair tonight, because, it's a heckin' blizzard outside. Yeah, go ahead and harvest it, it's fine. Now these I'm not going to harvest either, because they're good for quick fixes. This only takes 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and harvest it. And I need that leather because that's how I'm going to repair my shoes. Alright. Let's eat and drink and go to sleep. I think this time I will go on ahead and call it on this episode. So, hope you guys enjoyed, even if we just kind of did a little bit of wandering and some repairing. And I look forward to seeing y'all